Welcome to NDC Today. I'm your host, Crystal. Today we're talking about the entertainment industry. Our first guest is an entrepreneur with 3 businesses and wears many hats in the industry. Please welcome Cleavon Maven the Fourth.
Well, hello.
How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
Good.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. You look handsome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, you're definitely a millennial millionaire in the making.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yes, give you your props. So let's delve right into what is that you're doing.
Okay.
You're doing a lot of things.
A lot.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
and you
figure
wear
out in my
many
head
hats.
right now.
Yeah. So let's talk about the theater.
The
aspect of
theater.
it,
So
yeah.
right now I'm back in DC. I was gone for a minute. I went to Howard University. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, ain't you?
Awesome. Yeah.
And then I went back home in Georgia for a minute. And one day I woke up and said, I'm going back to DC.
Okay.
So I got back here.
Mhm.
I laid low for about a year, and then I decided to get back
Launch
working.
and
So
awesome.
theater, I really got to know the theater community over again while I was here.
Mhm.
You know, when I was here back in 2012, I was a performer and a
Mhm.
student.
Okay.
So a lot of the projects I did were directed by other people. But when I got to Atlanta, the story changed and I stopped performing and now I direct. So
Okay.
bringing that back to DC and showing them
Here.
what I've learned there
Right.
and bringing it back here and,
Mhm.
edging myself up with, all the professors that taught me my craft. And
Some amazing and talented
beautiful
individuals.
Beautiful.
And I might be
people.
biased because I'm a bison, but but they are awesome. But
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So getting back to the theater community here has been a blessing, to say the least. Really being able to work with all of my, colleagues
Right.
and old professors and mentors and the new people in the community that I've met here since starting to produce in DC.
Okay.
And it's just a beautiful, beautiful city. It's a beautiful world. And here I feel like a lot of the time that people get it a bit more. This is more of an artistic district.
Really?
Yeah.
How so? Let's talk about that because
Oh.
many people feel that
Okay.
DC, the DMV area, just doesn't have it going on like some of your other markets, New York and Atlanta, and folks are
I'd
moving
call
all the way
DC
to LA.
untapped. I definitely call DC untapped.
Okay.
There is some extreme talent here. It's a very structured talent here, whereas other places have a lot of ambition.
Okay.
A lot of people in outside of New York and LA. Atlanta's there now.
Okay.
I was in Atlanta when the film industry was really starting to bud, and people weren't necessarily training; they were just showing up to sets,
Right.
and there was jobs for everybody.
Everyone.
So you didn't have to train. You
No,
can
not
just
at all.
go get firsthand experience, and somebody was going to support you.
Exactly.
So
Like Tyler Perry. And a
right,
few
but
others.
in DC, however, that training is there.
Interesting.
Everybody here is training,
Okay.
whether it be with the college or one of the many, many acting coaches here.
And so you mentioned that this is a budding place. You have
It
all these
definitely
different.
is. This was Black
filmmakers.
Broadway.
It is, and
Yeah.
there's this new rebirthing, I think,
Yeah,
of that taking place
definitely.
now.
I
the momentum
said
has
it every
definitely
night
shifted.
during my show. Yeah, like Black Broadway's coming back.
Absolutely. And so, what do you bringing to the table in terms of innovation?
Hi. I was going to say I'm bringing innovation, but you flipped it
Oh,
on me.
really? Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
fine.
All right.
So I believe what I'm bringing to the table. I'll quote Nina Simone. She said, I want to go at things more harder, more colder, more bolder. I want to shake people up so bad that when they leave a place or a theater where I performed or I produced something, that they have to deal with themselves. It just tears them up into pieces, to paraphrase anyway.
Interesting.
And that's where I want to go. Like,
Okay.
let's tear down this barrier that we've built to say that says we're okay.
Right. Wow. And so, would you say that one of your projects that you worked on, what's the name of?
Breathe.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Yes. Would you say that touches on what you how you
It
just
definitely
explained
does.
the emotions? and-
Yeah, I am under. I've been saying since I was 21 that my art is transforming the psyche through art. Just I'm really big on psychology. I'm really big on mental health, things like that. Those triggers, and you can't be an artist and not reflect the times.
Interesting.
And the times right now, we are seeing more and more so every day that everyone is struggling with something. For some of us, it's just existing. Being black in a place that, for
powerful.
one, was never theirs and
Yeah.
now isn't ours either.
Absolutely.
So you're in a world
And
where
finding
yeah,
your
finding who
way
you are in a
the
place
midst
that
of all
never
of
belonged
that.
to anyone.
Yeah. And so art helps you to digest
To digest it,
it
yeah.
better. I think.
Definitely
Not
digesting it
that
better, setting up structures
Yeah.
for yourself that you can go through each day or anytime that you are feeling out of place. And that's why I write. That's what Breathe definitely was. Like, okay, let's get back in touch, but not necessarily with a slave story.
Interesting.
Let's go back a little further.
Okay. What are some of the independent films that you've worked on? I think independent films, that's like the big
Yeah,
boom
there's a big
now
boom
that
now.
is happening.
I had
So
a
what
lot
are
of
some
great
those
time in
films?
Atlanta. There was a piece called Now That You Know that that was the first piece I was hired to direct back in Atlanta, and we were able to take that script and make it flesh out, and it started to really take root, and that was very exciting.
Okay.
It's my first time directing film, so it was very exciting for me. But the piece was about
And you're still smiling about it, so that's good.
Yeah.
Some people, when they say I've directed, it's like, oh my God, that's
Oh,
just,
there's some parts
it's
I
a
cannot
whole
smile
nother
about.
world. That's a whole nother
There's
world.
definitely some parts that I could be like, however, that piece was a lot of fun. It was about a teenager, a heterosexual teenager, male that had contracted HIV. And back in about 2013 in Atlanta, that was one of those big subjects, but no one was talking about the teenagers that was catching it. Most people were talking about the LGBT community because that's, you know, a big hub for Atlanta.
Right.
But no one was talking about how it was affecting the students in schools. And that's what that movie was about, following this heterosexual male that had HIV.
Interesting.
As a 17-year-old.
A 17-year-old. And just navigating
Well,
that.
it's not
Not
necessarily
fun, but it was interesting in putting it,
it was new.
on camera.
Yes.
And telling that story.
Yes.
And so, what would you say in terms of a character that you've thought about that you have yet to put to paper?
Oh, okay. He's one of our favorite characters.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time I don't write church plays. However, my next character that is coming up and that has been really budding in me is Jesus.
Interesting.
Yeshua, Emmanuel, whatever you'd like to call him, and taking the deity out of him, dealing with Jesus, God in flesh.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a preacher. I don't say that often. I'm a licensed
You
preacher.
are?
I have been since I was 14.
Wow.
My dad's a bishop.
Okay.
But I never felt that the pulpit was the only place I had to be. A lot of my sermon and a lot of what I preach ended up being in shows, but not in a churchy way. I don't
Absolutely.
write. You might catch the Holy Ghost at one of my shows, but more than likely you're going to be like, why did he be cussing?
But at the same time, and you want people to go home
You
and
have-
think and to
yes,
have
and I wanna
discussions
keep it
and
real.
dialogues
I have to
and
keep it
on the
I
way
have to keep
home
it
from the
palatable and
yeah,
tangible for you.
yeah, on the way home
So
you're gonna think about what you just saw.
See, that's what it's all about. And I thought about Jesus and how, just like a lot of us, this is why I still identify with Christianity, because I identify with Jesus and how he was out here helping people,
Exactly.
knowing who he was and just putting that to work.
And put into human
And you know,
form and flesh.
nowadays we are so made to not believe in what we already know, or to feel like we need to believe in it more.
Interesting.
We make who we are so far away.
Okay.
And you've spent all your life trying to run to
and
something
to
that you already have.
chase that you already have.
And you see that with Jesus, where he didn't run away from it and people shunned him for it. And I feel like by the time Jesus got to the cross, he was a mental case.
Because
to look
it's
out in front of all
exhaustion.
those exhaustion, look at all those people that you've been helping, and he was a people pleaser, turning water into wine and stuff. He didn't have to do that. They could have drunk water.
It's something I guess
Nothing bad, I want Jesus.
yeah, Martin Luther King and yeah, Malcolm X. Like people said they were just
Those
just
people,
exhaustion.
those martyrs, those Christ-like subjects,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to put that on stage next.
Okay.
It's a one man. I haven't cast it or anything. It's still in here.
It's still in here. The
Yeah.
concept is there.
Yeah, it's
That's gonna be
just there.
amazing. I have to check that out.
Yeah, come on.
So make sure you send me an email.
Yeah,
and hit me up and
definitely.
say, Crystal. Right.
Okay, I
Okay.
got you.
Yeah. So I want to ask you this because I'm very much intrigued with campaigns.
Okay.
And that's kind of switching gears a bit, talk about
Okay.
theater and film. Why are campaigns so important and just the diversity that should be shown on television? They're impactful. It's
They are.
30 seconds, 60 seconds. How did you even get into that line of work in terms of
Again,
creating campaigns?
It's about not controlling the narrative, but directing the narrative in a way that no one has to feel without or left behind. That's important to me. That when whomever looks at television, because we're all overstimulated, there's
Yes.
constantly something to watch, constantly something to compare yourself to. So why not fight for people to see themselves? And the beautiful thing about humanity is that all of us are human. We're all human. We all have a million things that decide what we do and who we are and what we say every given moment. There's a dysfunction there, there might be a trauma there, there might be a happiness there, there might be a joy, there might be a passion. There's so many things that make up our
happening
decisions.
at one time.
And when you look at a campaign, I want to see my decisions. I want to see someone that reflects my unique.
So it's almost a form of like affirmation, if you will,
Affirmation.
that you want to put on
That's
camera.
how you campaign.
Okay.
You have to affirm people right where they are and show them that they're not that different.
Interesting. Okay.
None of us want to be different.
No, and you want to feel.
But we need to embrace that
accepted.
we're different. That's the most beautiful thing. It's all confusing.
And that it's okay.
That's what makes it hard to be human. But
So I want to ask you too, because talking about balance,
yes.
because you're a minister and you're a creator, you have all these different hats. How do you maintain integrity in all of this? Because it's still a business world. The money
it's a business
comes and goes. You're
world.
getting calls and different business deals.
The hardest thing
So-
about it all is maintaining that integrity, because what you learn about being integral is it makes the process longer. It is easy to cheat and scam
In the world of
people.
business?
Yeah, it is easy to
Wow.
cheat and scam people and get there quick. It's easy. I could have sold my soul a few times by now. I should have been a millionaire. Had I taken some of the deals that have crossed the table for me,
Right.
even at 21.
Wow.
But I'm in it for real.
Yeah.
It's not about, I could have $10 in my pocket right now, but it's not about the wealth that comes. That comes, and wealth is not always in the finances. It's in those lives that you change, and that's what keeps me integral, because I'm able to look at those people and say, you are dreaming just like I am, and I don't want to
characters
ever take that away from you.
The talent.
Yeah,
and
people
trust you with their.
it being in the industry, you have to understand that everyone is doing something that is terrifying. You know, nobody tells you you should wake up and try to be a star. No one says that.
Right.
Like, yeah, you can do it. I mean, they'll believe, they'll see it in their head, but no one tells you what you got to go through to get there.
To get there.
No one talks about
But
that.
they have a wonderful guide.
Yeah, you usually talk about it when you get there.
Yeah.
And then by that time, you're so intangible that nobody feels it. And what I've done to stay integral my whole journey is tell people right where I am immediately.
Okay.
Even if it looks like success, being like, yeah, I just produced this. This was back in 2015 when I produced Breeze for the first time. We did this big show, sold out to 2,800 people and all that stuff, and I was living in my office.
Wow. And you know what? I want to continue to have this conversation. Why do you have to go?
That's how it happened.
Right, you know. But I will definitely continue to follow you.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
And I want to encourage everyone else out there to follow you as well.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So this is awesome.
Oh, it is.
Thank you.
A beautiful time.
Yes, and I wish the best for you.
I appreciate it.
Yes, this is amazing. Thank you.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
So thank you guys so much for joining us today, and I'm looking forward to hearing lots more from you. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Right back.
Yeah. Look at you. Wow, a minister.
Yeah.
With telescope and stay focused, make a mark and get noticed. Get the degree, thermostat, help me out, floaters. If you wanna fly jets, you should go to college. Reach high and cash checks, fill your head with knowledge. If you wanna watch paint, don't go to college. But for everything else, you should go to college. You can study engineering. They be building robots, build bridges, commute. You can get your walk on. Be a math major, hop a moon crater, be an astronaut, be up in the sky like a baby. Finances and science, but you still need a degree. Archaeology, astronomy, but not astrology. No.
Flotus on the track.
Southside Chicago, we all know we had to do overtime every night to make it tomorrow. And everyone could really make their dream true. Hey kid, listening in Michigan, that could be you.
But a dream is just a dream unless you go hard. Einstein put it in time, here's a flow chart. Naturally it won't happen magically, but you can change fantasy into reality so dramatically. If you wanna fight crime, you should go to college. If you wanna write rhymes, fill your head with knowledge. If you wanna stare at grass, don't go to college. But for everything else, you should go to college.
Better make room. We coming. We're applying. That paper is not getting thrown in the garbage. You go to college.
Welcome back. Our next guest is an author and CEO of her own talent and entertainment agency, BMS Talent and Entertainment. Please welcome Benita, Boss Lady Spinner.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Yes, not every day we get a chance to pull you out of the office and place you here in front of the camera. So this is an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So I wanted to ask you, in terms of starting this business, you help a lot of talented individuals navigate, I call it, the battlefield, if you will, to get exposure, put themselves out there, and to be successful. It's like a chessboard. How do you help them to do that in an effective way? What are some of your techniques?
One is prayer, and then some of the others are helping them stay grounded and making sure that they understand and have a realistic expectation of the industry. Some people seem to think that once they get into the industry, they're automatically going to be famous. They get a manager, they put their feet up and they stop working. But actually, you work just as hard with the team as you would without one. So it's just making sure that people are putting their best foot forward and staying focused and committed to the journey.
Right. And so people say, you have that it factor, or this person has an it factor. How do you discover people, and what does that mean? How would you define the it factor?
I think it's a gut feeling. When you look at TV and you look at somebody, you can say, I see that person on this show. I can see this person playing this show, or this person would be great on commercials. They have a very bubbly personality, and there's some people that you can just gravitate to, that you're like, oh my gosh, I just absolutely love this person. I love being in this person's presence and their energy. And I think that that's the factor that someone needs to make someone else fall in love with them on the TV screen.
Absolutely. And campaigns and
Yes.
commercials, etc. What do you think artists, honestly, what do they need to focus on if they're going to take this seriously and become a part of your team, or if you want to represent them? What are some of the things that they need to keep in mind?
I hear a lot, people will say, my child, or I have natural talent. And that's all well and fine, but you definitely need talent. You need to go to get some classes, understand the business terminology. You have to understand the business aspect, and natural talent is great, but that might not be the best thing that you need when you're going in competing with people who understand the business part, understand how to carry themselves in front of casting directors and agents. You have to know that part too. So natural talent is great, but you got to put some work in on it as well.
Okay. And so with this industry, you're dealing with a lot of talented people, but did you choose this industry, or the industry, did it choose you? How did it happen?
It chose me. I had two family members, one family member and a friend who were in the industry, and they kept dragging me to everything, photo shoots and auditions, and it ended up starting, people were asking me to go to different events. So when I did that, I said, okay, no problem. If I'm going to do it, I might as well, if I'm going to do all this research, I might as well make it a business. And I jumped all the way in, and we've done some amazing things over the past 3 years.
3 years, wow. So if you were to fast forward 5 years, what does that look like for
5
BMS?
years, I believe we'll have a household name. And I also believe that you'll also see us in film and TV plays. You're going to see us everywhere in the entertainment industry.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Amazing. And so you are supported by an amazing team of people. You're not doing this all by yourself.
Absolutely not.
I think there are about, how many, 7 people that are on your team?
Yeah.
Give or take?
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you discover them? And what was your reason, or reasons, what were your reasons for adding them?
Passion, drive, energy, positivity. Those are traits that are very important. Family environment, dynamic, making sure that people have the same guidelines and boundaries. Just because you like people, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do business with them.
Right.
You have to be grounded and believe in integrity and respect, and making sure that we're treating our talent the way that we would want to treat our own family.
Absolutely.
So that's what's important
Absolutely.
to BMS, Talent and Entertainment.
Awesome. And you talked about respect. That's going to take me right into my next question. With this industry, there's so much happening. You know, you have Me Too movement campaign that started. The other individual, the director Weinstein.
Yes.
You know, all of those allegations. What are your thoughts on that? And how can individuals protect themselves, the red flags that they should look out for, and parents that have young people that may want to enter this industry?
I am very protective of the babies. A lot of times on set, kids can't be on set without their parents anyway. So that's one thing. I'm very protective on the social media aspect because people can get into their DMs and kids don't always know what they should look out for, who they should be talking to on social media.
Right.
We actually had a situation where we had a client on set and there was a little funny things going on, and the producers caught it and he was removed.
Wow.
So things like that happen. You have to stay vigilant. And if you have a team, make sure you're communicating with your team so they can help you address those types of situations.
Absolutely.
But we just don't tolerate that on our team.
Absolutely. And so you are the gatekeeper. You know, a lot of business deals happen, you know, because of you, and people come to you seeking out your clients. What are some of your expectations in terms of those advertisers or folks that are seeking those individuals that you are representing?
Transparency.
Okay.
I believe that that's really important. Let us know everything up front so that we can make sure that this is an opportunity for that particular client. Making sure that we understand what we're getting into so that if it's something that we're not comfortable with, we can let you know up front.
Right.
So you're not having to recast. We're not, you know, wasting your time, and you're not wasting our time either. So I believe in transparency, making sure that we're clear, we understand the dynamic, and what we don't know, we ask prior to moving forward with any opportunity.
Right. Okay. And as you know, Joe Jackson recently passed away, and there are a number of parents out there that want to manage their own children. You know, you have Brandy, Beyonce, you know, to name a few. Why would you say parents should definitely tap into a management company, a talent agency, instead of trying to take on all of the responsibility themselves?
I think parents often mean well. They want to protect their children, and their presence is definitely needed in the furthering their child's career. But when it comes to contracts and it comes to making sure that they have what they need to get into the room, if you're not familiar with those things, it's good to reach out. If you have a consultant on your team, maybe you're not looking for a full manager, but there's just certain aspects of the business that you definitely want to reach out to somebody who understands the industry, so you're not paying money where you should not be paying. There's a lot of red flags out there. There's a lot of people asking you to pay for things that you really shouldn't pay for things. And so it's definitely important that you understand what you're getting yourself into.
Absolutely.
You can waste a lot of money.
And I've heard, you know, the stories, social media, the folks that reveal what has happened to them that they've been taken advantage of. But you definitely are a full service company.
Yes.
So you provide everything. I
Yes.
mean, a number of those services. What are they, if you could just kind of lay a few of those out that you think kind of go maybe overlooked?
We do some of the marketing. We help you prepare for monologues. We get you set up with headshot photographers.
Not Instagram headshots.
Not Instagram headshots. And not the people
Professional
who take
headshots.
headshots at a wedding or an event. But there is definitely a skill set that you need when you're taking a professional headshot, so that you're able to market yourself for those larger projects like movies and films.
Right.
You just can't have a photo that you take off your camera and submit it for a project.
With the borders around it and the ears and the funny nose.
Yeah, those are not going to work for a talent agent. So.
Awesome. And so how do you go about, you know, the Berry Gordy, I always kind of refer to him, you think about talent management. I mean, they had all of the how to dress and how to carry yourself, all those courses. How do you empower your clients?
Communication. We try to bring in guest speakers to kind of talk to the talent. I do a lot of research on my own. We also partner with other individuals that help us so that we can pass that knowledge on to our talent.
Okay. Okay. And lastly, which maybe a lot of people don't know, but it's one of your other hidden talents. You are also an author.
Yes.
Yes.
I am a 2-time best-selling author.
Okay.
The first project that I worked on, a collaboration, was I Wish I'd Known.
Okay.
It was Reflections, I Wish I Would Have Known. And then my own compiled piece that I actually put together was The Aftermath, Life After.
Okay.
And those pieces are, for me, my platform is bringing awareness to sexual assault awareness, and making sure that people know that they're not alone, and to help women have a voice.
Absolutely.
Who ordinarily wouldn't have one.
Okay. And the other book was about
The
what is
Aftermath was it's a compile of 10 stories.
Okay.
And there are some amazing stories that women could probably relate to. There's
Okay.
at least one story in there that someone can relate to. It's an amazing piece. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback on it.
Awesome. And you have definitely, and they're bestsellers.
Yes,
You didn't
both
mention
of them
that.
are bestsellers
Bestsellers. Awesome.
on Amazon.
Okay. And I think just kind of and wrapping up, what is it like being a boss lady?
It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding.
Mhm.
You know, you can go through 20 auditions, you could get into 5 projects, and you might have 1 or 2 that actually stick and work out. But it's all worth it, because, you know, when you have a mission and a purpose to be able to help people and to support people and making sure that they're in a positive environment, it's always worth it in the end.
Absolutely. And so I'm sure you have some hidden gems, people that we haven't met just yet that you mentioned, that they're on their way.
Yes,
And so
absolutely.
they're in training right now. Have you discovered anyone that probably didn't know that they had gifts and talents?
Yeah, we're working with a young lady. I believe she knows that she has something, but there's definitely a shine with her that we're polishing up, and we're getting, you know, all her marketing and branding and stuff together. And I'll be back and let you know when she becomes your household name.
Okay, okay. And I believe it.
She
I
definitely will
believe
be.
it. Awesome. Well, it's so great to have you here in the DMV.
And I appreciate you having me here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I will be following you.
Thank
as
you, and
well.
I'll follow you as well.
Thank you. Remember to follow her at Benita Spinner CEO. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Benita, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed myself.
You're welcome. I did as well.
Great.
Until next time, thank you for watching in DC Today. Good night.